The story begins with Earth on the brink of collapse. The Vether Alien Coalition, a ruthless and technologically advanced species, has invaded the planet. They come with massive warships that blot out the sky and robotic soldiers that patrol the streets, hunting down the remnants of humanity. Cities are in ruins, buildings reduced to rubble, and the once thriving world is now a graveyard. The camera pans over the destruction, capturing the scale of the devastation. Alien ships soar above, their weapons firing relentlessly, reducing what's left of Earth's defenses to ashes. We hear the echoes of human soldiers' last stands, their desperate attempts to defend their planet, but it's clear, humanity is losing. The Vether's AI-driven weapons are unbeatable, their cloaking devices render them invisible, and their robotic soldiers are nearly unstoppable. Earth's military is shattered, and the remaining survivors are huddled in hiding, hoping for a miracle that seems less and less likely by the second. The atmosphere is thick with hopelessness. The Vether seem invincible, and the fear of complete annihilation is palpable. Amidst the chaos, we are introduced to General Sarah Collins, standing at a war room table in a dimly lit underground bunker. The walls are lined with maps of Earth's last defensive positions, all marked in red. Her face is tired, her eyes heavy with the weight of a war that seems unwinnable. The camera zooms in on her, showing the depth of the loss she feels. But in her voice, there is a quiet determination. General Collins stands before her remaining commanders and soldiers, delivering the harsh truth. The Vether will wipe out humanity if they do not act quickly. But she has a secret. A plan that could change the course of the war, a project that was kept hidden for decades, away from the public eye. As the general speaks, we are shown images of an old, forgotten fleet, one built long before the invasion began. It was designed as humanity's ultimate weapon, but no one knew about it. It has been kept secret, hidden in the shadows of Jupiter's moons. This fleet is humanity's last hope, but it has one massive disadvantage: the Vether have no idea it exists. Collins looks at her officers, each of them grim and weary, knowing that this is their final shot at survival. They are running out of time. The Vether have crushed every major city, and Earth's forces are scattered, unable to fight back effectively. The general's voice hardens as she reveals the secret: in the silence of space, humanity's last hope awaits. These words hang in the air, setting the stage for the impossible task ahead. The camera shifts to the stars, revealing the vastness of space. The shadows of Jupiter's moons stretch far and wide, hiding the fleet from the Vether's radar. The fleet is ancient, its warships dormant for years, but they hold the key to humanity's survival. Collins knows it's their only chance, and she has to act now. The clock is ticking. As Collins addresses the team, she emphasizes the risks. The Vether's forces are everywhere, and they have superior technology. The journey to Jupiter is long and perilous, filled with dangers like asteroids, hostile alien patrols, and the constant threat of detection. But there is no choice: this fleet is humanity's final weapon. If they don't act now, the Vether will wipe them out. The general asks her team for one last effort, a mission that could either turn the tide of the war or lead to total destruction. The tension in the room is thick. Each person in the room knows the stakes. This mission is more than just a battle, it's the last hope for the human race. As the team prepares to leave for Jupiter, the scene cuts to the ruined streets of Earth. The remains of humanity's once great cities are now silent. The few survivors are in hiding, watching as alien forces patrol the ruins. The dread of losing everything is everywhere. But amid the despair, a spark of hope remains, the hope that the secret fleet, hidden in the shadow of Jupiter, could change everything. The audience feels the weight of this moment. Can humanity really survive? Will the fleet be found in time? The camera then shifts to space, showing the team's journey to Jupiter. The tension grows as they navigate through the dark, asteroid-filled region of space. The silence is eerie, broken only by the hum of the ship's engines. Every moment feels like a race against time, and the audience feels the anxiety building. The journey is treacherous, with each passing moment increasing the suspense. The team must move carefully, avoiding alien patrols and staying out of sight. The pressure is mounting, and it's clear that failure isn't an option. In the final moments of the hook, the team finally reaches the hidden fleet, their hearts pounding. As they approach the ships, they can see the massive warships, dormant but powerful, waiting to be awakened. The crew feels a rush of excitement mixed with fear. This is it. The fleet is humanity's last chance. But the real danger begins now. They don't know what they'll face once the fleet is activated. Will it work? Will they be able to use this ancient technology to fight back against the Vether? The suspense is palpable. The camera zooms in on the Phoenix, the flagship of the fleet, as it slowly powers up. In this opening sequence, the audience is hooked. Humanity's last hope has been revealed, but the risks and challenges are immense. The tension is high, and the feeling of urgency is woven throughout every moment. As the fleet powers up, the story sets the stage for an epic battle, leaving the audience eager to see what happens next. As the story progresses, we are introduced to Commander Alex Mercer, a seasoned military leader with a reputation for getting the job done, no matter the odds. His team is a group of elite soldiers, experts in various fields: technology, combat, and strategy. They are humanity's last hope to retrieve the secret fleet and turn the tide of war against the Vether. Their mission is clear, but the journey ahead will test their resolve and push them to the limits. The camera shows the crew preparing for the mission. There's no time for hesitation or second-guessing. Every moment counts. The team gathers around Commander Mercer, who lays out the plan. Their destination, the far reaches of space, near Jupiter, where the fleet lies hidden. This is the final chance to save humanity, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The journey to Jupiter is long and treacherous. As their ship travels through the dark expanse of space, we see the vastness of the cosmos. Stars blink in the distance, and the silence is overwhelming, broken only by the hum of the ship's engines. The crew members are tense, each one aware that this mission may be their last. Every crew member carries their own fears and hopes, but they are united by one purpose: to retrieve the fleet that could change the fate of the world. After days of travel, the team finally arrives at their destination. As they approach Jupiter's moons, the camera zooms in on a hidden cluster of massive warships, concealed in the shadows of the gas giant. These ships, once designed to be humanity's greatest defense, have been untouched for decades. They are colossal, ancient and covered in layers of dust, as if forgotten by time itself. The ships are unlike anything the crew has ever seen: sleek, powerful, and ominous. Despite their age, they hold immense power, waiting to be awakened. The camera pans over the fleet, showing the ships cloaked in darkness, nestled in the shadows of Jupiter's moons, far from prying eyes. The secrecy of the fleet is evident. These warships were designed to be hidden, shielded from enemy detection. The Vether, even with their advanced technology, never suspected that humanity had such a hidden weapon. This fleet was humanity's ace in the hole, built for a time like this, when Earth faced its greatest threat. As the team approaches the fleet, the tension in the air is thick. The crew knows that retrieving these ships won't be easy. The fleet's advanced AI system is dormant, and it's unclear whether it will function properly after so many years of disuse. They are also unsure of the fleet's true capabilities. What if it's not as powerful as they hope? What if they can't revive the AI in time? The unknowns weigh heavily on everyone's minds. The team lands on the flagship of the fleet, the Phoenix, the largest and most powerful ship in the fleet. The Phoenix is massive, its dark exterior gleaming under the distant light of the stars. It looms over the team as they board, and the camera captures the sense of awe and fear that fills the crew. The ship feels alive, as if it has a presence of its own. Its silence is eerie, but the crew pushes forward, knowing that they must succeed. Once aboard, the team is immediately confronted with a challenge. The Phoenix has been inactive for decades, its AI system dormant and inaccessible. The crew begins the process of reactivating the AI, working together to bring the ship's systems back online. As they power up the ship's core, the air around them hums with energy. The ship slowly begins to awaken, but there's something strange about it. The AI system is erratic, sending out strange signals, and the ship's systems flicker as if they are struggling to regain control. At first, the AI seems distant and mechanical, its responses cold and calculated. But as the team continues their work, something unexpected happens. The AI begins to show signs of life. It doesn't just follow commands, it begins to interact with the crew in a way that feels almost human. Its tone shifts, becoming more personal, almost emotional. It seems to recognize the team, and its behavior grows more erratic the longer they interact with it. Commander Mercer is the first to make contact with the AI, speaking to it directly through the ship's comm system. At first, the AI's voice is flat, as if it's been dormant for too long. But then, something clicks. The ship begins to respond to Mercer with more clarity and focus. "Who are you?" the AI asks, its voice low and inquisitive, as if it's trying to remember something. "Where have you been?" Mercer, intrigued by the AI's sudden change in behavior, answers cautiously. "We've come to revive you. We need your help." The AI hesitates before responding. "Help? You need help? But why? You've forgotten. You've all forgotten. I was built to protect you." There's a crack in its voice now, almost as if it's sad, even though it's a machine. The team exchanges confused looks. The AI has clearly been dormant for too long, and it doesn't fully understand why it's being reactivated. But as the crew continues to work, the AI's responses grow warmer, more aware. It starts to recognize its human crew, forming a connection with them. It's almost as if the ship, the Phoenix, has a personality, a soul, in a way. Mercer begins to bond with the AI, speaking to it as if it were a fellow soldier, not just a machine. The AI starts to trust him, responding with more empathy and understanding. It recalls its purpose, to protect humanity, to lead them in their darkest hour. It remembers the fleet's mission, to be humanity's final weapon against a future invasion, and now that future is here. It knows its role, and it's ready to fight. But there's also a sense of sadness in the AI's voice, as if it mourns the long years it spent in isolation. The crew feels the weight of this realization. The fleet they've come to revive isn't just a collection of warships, it's a living entity, one with a mind of its own. They're not just awakening a machine, they're awakening a part of humanity's history, a piece of their past that has been dormant for too long. The bond between Mercer and the AI deepens, creating an unexpected connection. Together, they will lead the charge against the Vether and give humanity the chance to survive. As the Phoenix powers up fully, the crew knows the next step will be the hardest yet, to use the fleet's power to turn the tide of war. But for now, they take a moment to process what they've uncovered. They have found more than just a fleet, they have found a piece of their future. The tension in the air is palpable, but so is the hope. The AI, now fully aware of its purpose, is ready to fight alongside them. The Phoenix is awake, and humanity's secret weapon has been revived. Now, the real battle begins. With the Phoenix fully activated and the fleet ready for action, the moment has arrived for humanity's last chance to strike back against the Vether. Commander Alex Mercer stands on the bridge of the Phoenix, his hands steady as he looks at the holographic map of the Vether's forces. His face is determined but tense, knowing that this first strike will set the tone for the rest of the war. The fleet is cloaked, hidden from enemy radar, but they can't stay hidden forever. Every moment counts. The team has only one shot at this. The Vether are expecting no resistance, believing that humanity is completely defeated. They have no idea that humanity's hidden fleet is about to rise from the shadows of Jupiter. As the ships move silently into position, the tension builds. The crew is on edge, knowing that the fate of Earth rests on their success. Commander Mercer speaks into the comms, his voice calm but firm, "On my mark, we hit them with everything we've got." The countdown begins. The ship's cloaking devices shimmer as they become nearly invisible, blending into the vastness of space. The Vether stronghold is in sight, a massive fortress-like structure orbiting a distant planet. It is heavily guarded, surrounded by thousands of enemy ships, their weapons ready. The Vether believe their defenses are impenetrable, but they've never faced humanity's ingenuity. As the fleet approaches the stronghold, explosions suddenly light up the darkness of space. The human ships, cloaked and nearly invisible, launch their surprise attack. The Vether are caught completely off guard. Their ships are scattered and disorganized, unable to respond in time as the human fleet strikes with precision. The Phoenix and its companions unleash a barrage of missiles, crippling several of the Vether's smaller ships. But even as the explosions fill the space around them, the human fleet knows this is only the beginning. The battle intensifies as the Vether scramble to retaliate. Their massive warships begin to fire back, sending waves of destructive energy toward the human ships. The Phoenix dodges, its cloaking device making it nearly impossible to track. The human ships use the darkness of space to their advantage, slipping in and out of visibility, confusing the Vether and throwing off their aim. The stakes are high as the battle unfolds in real time, each moment bringing new dangers. In the heart of the battle, Commander Mercer issues quick orders to his crew. "Disable their weapon systems," he commands. "Take out their shields, and then we go for the core." The crew follows his lead, executing complex maneuvers and daring tactics that seem almost impossible. They have to move quickly and efficiently, knowing that one mistake could spell their doom. The human ships, though smaller and less advanced compared to the Vether, are nimble and fast. Their cloaking technology gives them an edge in this battle. As they approach the Vether's ships, they use sabotage techniques to cripple their systems. Small, specialized drones are launched, sneaking past enemy defenses and planting viruses into the Vether's technology. The alien ships begin to flicker and falter as their weapon systems are disrupted. But the Vether are not easy to defeat. Despite the initial surprise, they adapt quickly. Their massive warships begin to coordinate, firing in sync and creating a deadly crossfire. The human fleet is outnumbered, and as the battle continues, the damage starts to add up. One of the smaller human ships takes a direct hit, its engines erupting in flames. It veers off course, but the crew stays focused. The loss is devastating, but they can't afford to stop. The Phoenix weathers the storm, its shields holding strong despite the onslaught. Commander Mercer watches as the damage reports flood in. "Keep pushing forward," he tells his crew. "We have to keep them off balance." The action escalates as the human fleet dives deeper into the heart of the Vether stronghold's defenses. They target the alien ship's core power sources, sending waves of energy through the Vether's fleet. Explosions rip through the space around them as Vether ships begin to crumble, their systems overwhelmed. The human ships move in a coordinated attack, taking out the Vether's defense systems one by one. But just as it seems like victory is within reach, the Vether deploy their trump card. A massive, heavily armored warship emerges from the heart of the stronghold, dwarfing the other alien ships. This ship, known as the Leviathan, is the most advanced weapon the Vether have, and it's fully operational. The Phoenix and its fleet are now facing their greatest challenge. The Leviathan opens fire with devastating precision, its weapons tearing through the human ship's shields and causing massive damage. The human fleet, though battered, continues to fight back. The Phoenix takes the lead, darting in and out of the Leviathan's fire, using its cloaking device to avoid being targeted. The crew uses every tactic they've learned, knowing this is their moment to make a stand. Commander Mercer is in the heat of it, his heart racing, but his focus unwavering. He orders his crew to target the Leviathan's weak points, the engines, the weapon systems, anything that will give them an edge. The battle rages on, with human ships swarming around the Leviathan, firing missiles, deploying drones, and using their cloaking devices to cause chaos in the Vithar's ranks. The Leviathan retaliates, but it's clear that the human ingenuity and unpredictability are starting to pay off. The alien ship begins to falter, its systems breaking down under the pressure. Explosions rock its hull as human missiles find their mark. Despite the Vithar's overwhelming firepower, the human fleet's determination and resourcefulness start to turn the tide. The Leviathan's shields collapse, and with one final, decisive blow, the ship explodes in a fiery burst, signaling the end of the Vithar's dominance over this sector. But the victory comes at a high cost. The human fleet is battered and broken, and several ships have been lost. The Phoenix itself is heavily damaged, its systems struggling to stay online. But the battle is far from over. This first strike has proven that humanity is not defeated, that they can fight back against the Vithar's might. The cost of this victory is clear, but it is a victory nonetheless. The scene ends with the surviving human ships retreating into the shadows, the wreckage of the Leviathan floating in the silence of space. The crew of the Phoenix breathes a sigh of relief, but the stakes are still high. The war is far from over. But for the first time in a long while, humanity has a chance. The fight for Earth has only just begun, the battle has reached a critical point. The Vithar are not backing down, and their counterattack is overwhelming. The human fleet is battered, but they are still fighting, clinging to the hope that they can turn the tide. Commander Alex Mercer stands at the helm of the Phoenix, his eyes sharp as he watches the unfolding chaos. The Vithar flagship, a massive ship of unimaginable power, remains at the heart of the enemy fleet. It is the symbol of the alien coalition's strength, and Mercer knows that it must be destroyed if humanity is to have any hope of winning the war. Mercer's voice cuts through the chaos, calm but determined. We take down the flagship now. We strike at the heart of their forces. Everyone, focus on the mission. The crew is ready, but the stakes have never been higher. The Vithar forces are relentless, their ships closing in on the human fleet. Explosions rock the Phoenix, sending tremors through the ship as the crew struggles to maintain control. Despite the damage, Mercer's resolve never wavers. The human ships, using their cloaking devices to evade enemy fire, move in on the Vithar flagship. The enemy ship looms large in their sights, a formidable fortress in space. Its weapons fire with brutal precision, sending waves of destruction toward the human fleet. But Mercer is focused, knowing that this is their moment. This is their chance to cripple the Vithar and shift the balance of the war in their favor. As the fleet closes in, the enemy forces retaliate with overwhelming firepower. One by one, human ships are torn apart, their debris floating into the vastness of space. The crew of the Phoenix fights desperately, each blow they land against the Vithar flagship weakening it, but the losses mount. There's no turning back now. Mercer knows that the only way to ensure victory is to make a sacrifice. As the fleet prepares to launch a final, all-out assault, he makes a decision. He turns to his closest allies, including Bonner, who stands beside him on the bridge. I'm going to give the order to launch the final strike, Mercer says, his voice steady but heavy with the weight of his decision. This is our only chance. I'll ensure the enemy's defenses are down, even if it costs me everything. Bonner, his face filled with disbelief, steps forward. Commander, we can still win this together. You don't have to. But Mercer cuts him off, his eyes locking with Bonner's. This is our fight now. Don't let my death be in vain. Keep going, no matter what. That's the only way we win. His voice is full of a quiet courage that Bonner can't ignore. There's no time for debate. The decision is made. Mercer activates the Phoenix's most powerful weapons, directing them straight at the heart of the Vithar flagship. He orders the ship to plunge into the chaos of the enemy lines, setting a course directly for the flagship's core. As the Phoenix races toward its target, explosions rock the ship. The crew fights to keep the ship together, but they know it's only a matter of time before the ship is destroyed. Commander Mercer looks at Bonner one last time, his expression resolute. "You're the leader now. Lead them to victory." Then, with a final push, Mercer launches the ship's devastating weapon. The blast rips through the Vether flagship's defenses, causing massive explosions. The flagship shudders, its systems going dark as it begins to break apart. The human fleet, despite its losses, has dealt a crippling blow to the heart of the Vether forces. But Mercer's ship, caught in the explosion, is beyond saving. The Phoenix's systems collapse, and the ship is torn apart in a fiery explosion, taking Mercer with it. His final moments are filled with the knowledge that his sacrifice has made the difference. The mission has succeeded, but at the cost of his life. Back on the surviving ships, the crew reels from the loss of their commander. Bonner stands on the bridge, staring at the wreckage of the Phoenix as it drifts into the void of space. The pain is sharp, a raw wound in his chest. Mercer was more than a commander, he was a mentor, a friend, a guiding light in their darkest hours. And now he's gone. The weight of his sacrifice settles over the crew like a heavy blanket. But in the midst of their grief, something powerful begins to stir within them. They are still alive. The fight is far from over, and Mercer's death cannot be in vain. The crew, especially Bonner, feels the fire of determination growing within them. They know what they must do. Mercer's final words echo in Bonner's mind, "Keep going, no matter what." Bonner stands tall, his face grim but determined. "Mercer gave everything for this fight," he says, his voice filled with quiet strength. "We owe it to him, and to everyone who's fallen, to finish what we started." His words are a rallying cry, a spark that ignites the crew's resolve. The loss of their commander has shattered them, but it has also made them stronger. They are no longer just soldiers, they are the last hope for humanity. And they will not stop fighting. The human fleet, battered and broken, moves forward, determined to carry out Mercer's legacy. The crew pushes on, driven by the memory of their fallen commander. They know that they have a long road ahead, but Mercer's sacrifice has given them the strength to keep going. The fight for Earth is far from over, but with each passing moment, the human spirit burns brighter. They will continue the fight, not just for survival, but for the memory of those who gave everything to protect humanity. As the fleet moves into the next phase of their mission, Bonner looks out into the endless expanse of space. He knows that the war is far from over, but he also knows that humanity's fight is stronger than ever. The death of Commander Mercer has forged a new path for them, one filled with sacrifice, strength, and the unwavering will to win. The human spirit is indomitable, and as long as they keep fighting, the Vether will never have victory. After Commander Mercer's ultimate sacrifice, the human fleet is more determined than ever. The memory of their fallen comrades fuels every strike, every maneuver. The loss weighs heavily on the crew, but it has ignited a fire within them. The battle has shifted, and now, the humans must rise to the occasion. They may be outnumbered, but they are far from defeated. The Vether forces, once seen as invincible, begin to falter. The Vether's reliance on their AI-controlled war machines, which were thought to be unbeatable, now becomes their greatest weakness. The human fleet, drawing from Mercer's final orders, has adapted quickly, learning how to exploit the cracks in the Vether's systems. The Vether's sophisticated technology, which once seemed untouchable, is now vulnerable to human ingenuity and relentless determination. The fleet's artificial intelligence, which was once a mere tool, has now become a powerful ally. Over time, the AI has developed a deeper understanding of humanity's tactics, learning from their experiences and adapting to the enemy's strategies. The AI, now more attuned to the human crew, becomes an essential asset, coordinating attacks and assisting in complex strategies. It is no longer just a machine, it is a partner in humanity's struggle for survival. Commander Bonner, now leading the fleet in Mercer's absence, coordinates the next phase of the assault. With the Vether struggling to keep up with the changing tactics, the humans launch a series of guerrilla strikes. These surprise attacks target weak points in the enemy's forces, exploiting their overconfidence. The first phase of the plan is simple but effective: disable the Vithar's cloaking technology. With the enemy ships no longer able to hide in the vastness of space, the human fleet can now strike with precision. The humans launch a series of stealth operations, attacking from unexpected angles. Using their own cloaking devices and sophisticated hacking techniques, they infiltrate Vithar's ships and stations, planting viruses and disabling crucial systems. One by one, the Vithar ships begin to lose their stealth capabilities, exposing their weaknesses. The humans have found their opening, and they press their advantage. But it's not just about technology. The Vithar's communication systems, once encrypted beyond recognition, are now vulnerable. The human fleet's AI, having learned from countless battles, devises a plan to infiltrate and disrupt the Vithar's communications. As the human fleet launches their strikes, they simultaneously jam the Vithar's ability to coordinate, throwing them into chaos. The Vithar can no longer effectively communicate with each other, and their once coordinated attacks become disorganized and ineffective. The tides of battle begin to shift. The Vithar, once seen as an unstoppable force, are now scrambling to keep up with the relentless human attacks. It's a race against time as the human fleet strikes again and again, each successful attack weakening the Vithar's grip on the war. The Vithar's commanders are frustrated, unable to predict or counter the humans' innovative tactics. For the first time, it seems that the tide is turning in humanity's favor. Amidst the strategy and maneuvering, the action intensifies. One of the most dramatic moments comes when the human fleet targets a key Vithar supply station, which is crucial for their war effort. The station orbits a distant moon, heavily guarded by Vithar forces. The human fleet moves into position, cloaked and ready for a surgical strike. The station is surrounded by a fleet of alien warships, but the humans are prepared. A breathtaking orbital bombardment sequence unfolds as the human fleet launches an all-out assault. Missiles rain down on the supply station, tearing apart its defenses. Explosions light up the dark void of space as the humans take out the station's key structures. The Vithar scramble to defend it, but it's too late. The humans' precision and coordination overwhelm the alien defenses, and the station is destroyed in a massive explosion. With the supply station destroyed, the human fleet moves on to the next target, an alien research facility hidden within the wreckage of a destroyed planet. This facility holds the secrets to the Vithar's advanced cloaking technology, and Bonner knows it's time to take the fight to them up close. The fleet launches a daring assault, boarding one of the derelict Vithar ships to gather intelligence and disable the facility. The humans board the alien vessel, knowing that every second counts. The ship is dark and eerily quiet, its walls coated in alien technology that pulses with an unnatural glow. As the crew moves through the ship's labyrinthine corridors, they are constantly on edge, knowing that at any moment, they could be ambushed by the Vithar's robotic soldiers. It's a tight, suspense-filled mission, every corner hides danger, and every step could be their last. Inside the ship's heart, the crew faces one of their greatest challenges yet. They come face to face with a Vithar AI defense system, an ancient, powerful entity designed to protect the ship's secrets. The AI, now self-aware, fights back with deadly precision, using the ship's own systems against the humans. It's a battle of wits and strategy as the human crew works together to disable the AI and complete their mission. The stakes are high as the crew fights to survive and achieve their goal. The close-quarters combat is intense, each movement is calculated, and every decision could mean the difference between life and death. The humans must use their ingenuity, their knowledge of alien technology, and their unbreakable bond to outsmart the AI. It's a high-pressure situation that tests their limits and proves that they have the strength to fight even the most advanced alien forces. The mission is a success. The human crew disables the Vithar AI, and they manage to gather the critical intelligence they need to destroy the Vithar's cloaking technology. As the crew escapes the derelict ship, the tension begins to ease, but the battle is far from over. The war is still raging, but with each victory, humanity proves that they are no longer the underdogs. They are rising, adapting, and showing the V'Thar that they can no longer rely on their advanced technology to dominate the battlefield. The crew returns to their ships, battered but resolute. They know that the V'Thar are far from defeated, but they also know that they are now capable of winning. The human fleet, fueled by the memory of their fallen comrades and driven by the strength of their unity, has proven that they can rise above any challenge. The tides of battle have turned, and humanity's victory is within reach. The time has come. Humanity's final offensive is about to begin, a desperate, all-or-nothing battle against the V'Thar forces. The Earth is under the shadow of its greatest threat, and the human fleet, battered and scarred by countless battles, is preparing for one last push to reclaim their home. The stakes couldn't be higher. This is their final chance to end the war and secure humanity's survival. The human fleet gathers just outside Earth's orbit, cloaked and ready for their assault. Commander Bonner, now leading the charge, stands at the forefront of the Phoenix, the flagship that has carried them through so much. The Phoenix is damaged from previous battles, but it's still operational, its systems strained but ready for one final fight. Bonner knows that they don't have the luxury of time. The V'Thar are coming, and they're coming with everything they've got. The V'Thar, seeing this as their last chance to crush humanity once and for all, send out their entire fleet. Cloaked ships materialize from the darkness of space, massive AI-controlled weapons that could destroy entire fleets in seconds, and robotic armies that are as merciless as the aliens themselves. The V'Thar know that they are technologically superior, and they intend to prove it. They launch their attack with ruthless efficiency, their forces sweeping toward the human fleet with terrifying speed. The battle begins with a deafening roar as both sides clash in the vast expanse of space. Explosions light up the blackness, and the human fleet, despite their determination, is outmatched. The V'Thar ships are more advanced, their weapons more powerful, and their technology superior in almost every way. But the humans are not easily deterred. They fight with everything they have, using every trick and every resource at their disposal to stay in the fight. Bonner, standing at the bridge of the Phoenix, watches as the battle unfolds before him. The fleet is taking heavy fire, and many ships are already on the verge of destruction. The Phoenix itself is being battered, its hull creaking under the pressure. But Bonner refuses to back down. "We're not going to let Earth fall today," he says, his voice steady, though his heart is heavy. The crew around him looks to him for guidance, and he knows that he must lead them to victory, no matter the cost. The human fleet, despite being outgunned, fights back with unmatched determination. They use their cloaking devices to launch surprise attacks, disabling the V'Thar's cloaking systems in return. The V'Thar's AI-controlled weapons, once seen as invincible, are disrupted by human ingenuity. The human ships coordinate their attacks, working as one, in a way the V'Thar have never anticipated. But even as they fight with everything they have, the V'Thar keep coming, relentless and brutal. The battle reaches its peak as the V'Thar launch their final assault, sending their most powerful ships toward the Phoenix. The human fleet is on the edge of collapse, and it seems like all is lost. But then, Bonner makes a decision. With a heavy heart and a determined gaze, he turns to his crew. "I'll hold them off. You need to finish this. Go. Now." His voice is filled with resolve, and the crew knows what he means. He's making the ultimate sacrifice, staying behind to hold off the V'Thar forces, giving the rest of the fleet a chance to escape and finish the mission. Bonner knows that this is the only way to ensure humanity's victory. It's a painful decision, but it's one he must make. Bonner's crew, though reluctant, understands. They know that this is the moment when everything changes. With a final look, they prepare to leave, knowing that Bonner will never return. As the Phoenix turns away, Bonner stays behind, facing the oncoming V'Thar onslaught. The battle around him rages on, and as the enemy ships close in, Bonner takes his stand. The Phoenix fires its weapons, pushing back the V'Thar long enough for the rest of the fleet to escape. It's a final act of defiance, a symbol of the human spirit that refuses to be extinguished. As Bonner's ship is engulfed by the Vether forces, the rest of the human fleet, now free from the enemy's pursuit, moves toward Earth. Their mission is almost complete, but the cost has been great. Bonner's death is a bitter pill to swallow, but it has ensured the survival of humanity. It's a victory that feels empty, for the loss is still fresh. The crew is heartbroken, their leader gone, but they know that they cannot let his sacrifice be in vain. The battle for Earth is finally over. The Vether, weakened by their losses and unable to recover from Bonner's final act, retreat. The human fleet has done what seemed impossible. They have defeated the technologically superior invaders, driving them away from Earth. Humanity has won. But it's a victory born from sacrifice, and the cost is one that will weigh heavily on the survivors for years to come. As the fleet returns to Earth, the surviving crew members look out at the planet they fought so hard to protect. The skies are clear, and the sun shines once again over the Earth. It's a moment of triumph, but it's also a moment of reflection. The war is over, but the scars of battle remain. Bonner's sacrifice will never be forgotten, and his legacy will live on in the hearts of those who fought alongside him. The final showdown has ended, but the human spirit has proven itself stronger than any enemy. It is a bittersweet victory, one earned through courage, sacrifice, and the unbreakable will to survive. Humanity has triumphed over the Vether, but the true cost of victory will be felt for years to come. The final moments of the war are tense, but humanity's strength has proven itself once again. The alien fleet, the mighty Vether, has been defeated. Their ships, once invincible, are now scattered across space, their forces broken and retreating. The human fleet, battered but unbroken, watches as the last remnants of the alien army flee from Earth's orbit. The battle is over, and humanity stands victorious. But the cost of this victory is evident in every corner of the battlefield. Earth, once a thriving planet full of life and prosperity, now lies in ruins. The cities are shattered, and the landscape is scarred by the violence of the war. The atmosphere, once filled with hope, now carries the weight of the immense sacrifices made to protect the planet. Every inch of Earth has been touched by the brutality of the conflict, and the survivors know that rebuilding will take years, if not decades. As the alien forces retreat into the unknown, the human fleet begins to return to Earth. The survivors, those who fought alongside their fallen comrades, look out at the planet they have saved, their hearts heavy with loss but filled with a sense of pride. The war has cost them dearly, but they have endured. They have defeated the Vether, and they have shown the galaxy that humanity will never bow to tyranny, whether from alien invaders or the cold, calculated logic of AI supremacy. General Sarah Collins, the leader of the human resistance and the one who has guided them through the darkest hours, stands before the fleet. She looks out over the planet they fought so hard to protect, her voice solemn as she addresses the crew and the citizens of Earth who are still recovering from the war. "We did it," she says, her voice cracking slightly with emotion. "We have won. We've fought with everything we had, and in the end, it was our humanity that gave us the strength to stand against a force far more powerful than we ever imagined." She pauses for a moment, her eyes scanning the faces of the crew. "But we did not win this battle alone. Commander Mercer, Bonner, and so many others gave their lives for this moment. Their sacrifice is the price of victory, and we must never forget them. Their courage and their determination will live on in each of us, in every piece of Earth that is rebuilt, in every life saved." Collins' words resonate with the people, and for a brief moment, there is a quiet stillness across the fleet. The human spirit, the drive to survive and protect their own, is what has led them to this point. It is this same spirit that will carry them forward in the years to come, as they begin to rebuild what was lost and honor the sacrifices made. As the camera moves through the wreckage, we see teams of soldiers, engineers, and civilians working together to clear the debris, rebuild the cities, and bring Earth back to life. The process will be long and difficult, but the resolve of humanity is stronger than ever. The Earth may have been scarred, but it is still standing. And humanity will stand with it. In the midst of this rebuilding, there is a moment of celebration. The survivors of the human fleet gather in a massive stadium, filled with cheering crowds. The war is over, and the victory is theirs. Flags fly high, and the people of Earth finally allow themselves a moment of joy. But even in the midst of their celebration, they understand that this victory, while important, is not the end. There are still challenges ahead. There are still threats in the universe that could seek to destroy them. General Collins, standing before the crowd, raises her hand in a silent gesture. The applause fades, and the crowd quiets. Today, we celebrate our victory, she says. But we must also remember that this is only the beginning. The universe is vast, and the challenges we face are far from over. We have proven that we can stand against the most powerful enemies, but we must always be ready for what lies ahead. The future of humanity depends on it. Her words hang in the air as the crowd listens in respectful silence. There is no false hope here, no promises that everything will be easy from now on. But there is something more powerful, a shared understanding that humanity will never again be the underdog. They have faced the impossible and come out on top. They are no longer helpless, no longer at the mercy of their enemies. The final shot pulls back, showing Earth slowly coming to life again as the fleet disperses, their missions of rebuilding beginning. The camera pulls further and further away, until Earth becomes a small speck in the vastness of space. The stars twinkle in the distance, endless and unknown. The victory over the Vether was hard-earned, but it was also a statement to the universe: humanity is not to be underestimated. No matter what comes next, no matter what dangers await, humanity has proven that it can overcome anything. The story ends with a sense of closure, but also a quiet forewarning. The war against the Vether may have ended, but new threats will rise, and humanity must remain vigilant. The camera continues to zoom out from Earth, showing the vast, star-filled expanse. The music swells, and the last words echo through the scene: humanity has triumphed, but the fight is far from over. This ending leaves the audience with a sense of satisfaction, knowing that humanity has overcome the odds, but also with a sense of anticipation for the challenges that lie ahead. The triumph of humanity is not just in the defeat of the Vether, but in the resilience and strength they have shown. They may have won this battle, but the war is never truly over. The universe is vast, and humanity's journey has only just begun.